Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for joining us today. Very special day because it's the day Srila Prabhupada departed to come to the US. So very actually amazing day for us, because if he hadn't done that, we wouldn't be sitting here for sure. So like to seek everybody's good wishes and blessings so that we can remember this glorious person and seek his blessings to read his wonderful divine Bhaktivedanta purports and really elevate ourselves. We want to seek the blessings of Guru Maharaj, who always considered Prabhupada the 13th Marjan, and had such an incredible relationship with Prabhupada. And seek the blessings of Srila Prabhupada himself so that we can progress in our spiritual life. So before departing to the US, Srila Prabhupada visited a place called Shantipur. I just wanted to check, has anybody been to Shantipur? Shantipur is between, okay, between Mayapur and Calcutta. It's closer to Mayapur. It's probably about half an hour drive from Mayapur.
Advaitacharya is there.
Advaitacharya's ashram.
Advaitacharya is there.
That's right. That's right. Well done, Riyanj. Fantastic. And this is where Advaitacharya, he called upon Lord Chaitanya to come by worshipping Shaligram, Nashinga Shaligram with water, Ganga Jal and Tulsi. And his loud cries forced Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to appear. So it's a very auspicious place. So just before coming to the US, Prabhupada visited Shantipur, chanting Hare Krishna Japa deeply and weeping bitterly, praying for the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaitacharya. So how do we know this? The pujari at that temple of Shantipur had seen him coming for many years, since the 1940s and the 1950s. But he hadn't seen him for quite some time. And then when he came in 1965, just before departing to the States, this pujari asked him, "Who are you? I remember you coming here for so many years, but you stopped coming." Srila Prabhupada responded, "My name is Abhay Charanminda Bhaktivedanta Swami. I am a disciple of that empowered soul, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, who has come to deliver the world. I have been coming here because my Gurudev has given me an impossible mission to perform. He has ordered me to take the message of Lord Chaitanya and the holy names of Krishna across the ocean to spread all over the world. I have no qualification, no ability. People in the Western world have never heard the name of Krishna or who is Radharani. How to convince them?" Therefore, for all these years, I've been coming here because this is the place that Advaitacharya, Lord Chaitanya, and Nityananda Prabhu are eternally present. They're planning to take the holy names all over the world. I have been coming here, praying to them to empower me to fulfill my Guru's order. Tomorrow, I am taking a cargo ship to New York City, but I don't know what I will find there. I don't know how I will do it. So I'm crying to my Gurudev and to the Supreme Personality of Godhead to empower me. This is really powerful. Years later, this pujari in Shantipur saw many Westerners coming in dhoti kurta. One of them gave him a Back to Godhead magazine. He noticed the picture of Srila Prabhupada and he realized this was the same holy man who had come and was crying for the mercy of the Lord. The pujari was ecstatic in the knowledge that the sadhu was successful in his mission, the Pujari came to the Mayapur and he told the devotees of this glorious pastime. So this is such a fantastic example to all of us, that we think we are the doers. I am doing this, I am doing that, I'm achieving this, I'm achieving that. But actually, it can only happen if the Lord allows it to take place, if he sanctions it. And Srila Prabhupada was such a perfect instrument in the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, begging for the mercy to be empowered. So really fantastic example. If you want to venture on any venture at all, we must seek the blessings, permission of the Supreme Lord and the devotees. So previous to this, Prabhupada he took initiation. He met his guru in 1920. He was born in 1896. He met his guru for the first time, 1922. Before that, he'd met many sadhus, but he was never impressed. But when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was impressed. Because here was a great personality who wanted to push this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. And in 1933, he took Diksha. His spiritual master, he passed away in 1936. But before leaving, he had given him many instructions about how he should preach in English, how he should spread this mission all over the world. And Prabhupada always had that order in his mind. It wasn't until 1965, that's a good 30 years after his spiritual master left, that he ventured to go to the US. He was 69 years old. He celebrated his 70th birthday on the ship. And all this time, he was preparing to go to the West. This is really extraordinary show of patience, determination. So previous to this, Prabhupada had met a gentleman named Mr. Agarwal. He was a businessman in Mathura. And Prabhupada had mentioned to him, he wanted to go to the West to fulfill the order of his spiritual master, to preach the message of Chaitanya in English. This meeting led to a sponsorship in America through Mr. Agarwal's son, Gopal, who was an engineer in Pennsylvania. Soon, Prabhupada received permission from the Ministry of External Affairs to travel to the US. Gopal Agarwal had solemnly declared that he would bear any and all expenses during Srila Prabhupada's initial stay in the US. So just imagine, he didn't know anybody else. He didn't even know this Gopal until he met his father in Mathura. And his father very kindly arranged for his son to grant or to give the various declarations. Now, his son had done that before for other sadhus as well. Nobody had turned up. So Gopal was thinking, here we go again, nothing's going to happen, but let me do my bit anyway. This is the passport of Srila Prabhupada, which he traveled with to the US.
Sorry, Prabhuji, can you repeat the last things after what you said about Gopal? Because I was away on a call.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, so what happened was Gopal, he had many times before done this declaration for other sadhus, other people, but nobody had come. His father kept on asking him, do this declaration for this person, that person, but nobody ever came. But this time, Prabhupada actually came.
All right. Okay.
So this is the passport. And one time Prabhupada was asked, you look very worried on this picture, in this passport picture. And Prabhupada said, no, I wasn't worried. It was the most ecstatic time in my life. This is a vision of ecstasy. So this is really quite amazing. This passport, I think, is in Vrindavan, if I'm not mistaken. Still there, and they've preserved it. Prabhupada then traveled to Mumbai because he had no ticket to go to the US. And he picked the US rather than London, because London was often the destination from India. Generally, the destination was London. But for some reason, he picked New York, which was an extraordinary move, which we'll see later on, either today or a little bit in the future. He would seek assistance in getting to America by approaching Sumati Morarji, who he had learned was the head of the Scindia steamship line. She was a very wealthy lady, and this Scindia steamship was a very wealthy company. He had met her at Kurukshetra in the 1950s, and she had subsequently donated a considerable amount of money for printing volume 2 of his life's work, his translation with commentary of the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. So before Prabhupada came, he had produced 3 volumes of Canto 1 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Concerned for his health and welfare, Sumati Morarji declined to give him assistance. She feared that the lengthy journey by sea would kill him, since he was elderly and had never been outside India. She was like a very sweet daughter to him. They had a very interesting relationship. But not one to be deterred from his goals, Prabhupada persuaded her secretary, Mr. Chokshi, to speak up on his behalf, coaching him in exactly what to say. I find this gentleman very inspired to go to the US and preach Lord Krishna's message to the people there. But again, she said no, determined in her decision to protect him in spite of himself. Prabhupada persistently demanded a personal interview, but it was not to be. Time passed, she ignored him. Of course, she was thinking for his own good. After all, he was an old man. He didn't know anybody there. What was he going to do there? He's going to die there. Eventually, due to his tenacity, she agreed to a meeting. When he entered her room, he simply said, please give me 1 ticket. She could see the total commitment and longing in his eyes, his determination to please his spiritual master and to fulfill the desire of Lord Krishna. It was simply not possible to deny him. So she scheduled him a place on the ship named Jaladuta, which was sailing from Calcutta on August the 13th, 1965. So today is, according to the Bharatiya calendar, the day when he left on that ship. With deep concern in her heart, she saw to all his needs, making sure he would travel on a ship whose captain understood the needs of a Vaishnava vegetarian. So the captain's name was Arun Pandya. He was a really nice man, and his wife as well, I believe, was on the journey. He made it a point to carry extra vegetables and fruits for the Swami on board. So it wasn't a passenger ship, by the way, or a luxury ship. It was a cargo ship. So the amenities were very basic. And, it wasn't, he didn't fly to the States. He took a boat, a ship, which took, I think, 2 months to reach. So this was really incredible endeavor by Srila Prabhupada. A couple of days before setting sail, Prabhupada arrived in Calcutta to go to Mayapur, to go to Shantipur, to visit the Samadhi of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He wanted to pray and ask for his Guru's blessings. And he went to Shantipur as mentioned above. Somewhere we got the ship. There he is. There's the ship. This is the Jaladuta. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a brave, brave person. I'm not sure if I would cross the Atlantic in a ship like this. Prabhupada was accompanied by several trunks, 200 3-volume sets of his Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. He also had his personal baggage of 1 small suitcase, an umbrella, and a supply of dry cereals in case he couldn't find suitable food in a land so far from home. Because there was no idea that there would be, because it's a land of meat eaters. Who knows what they have available for vegetarians? Almost 70 years old, he would now embark on a journey and a mission that would be daunting for a man half his age. After 10 days of travel, the ship approached the Red Sea, where Srila Prabhupada encountered great difficulty. He noted in his diary, rain, seasickness, dizziness, headache, no appetite, vomiting. The symptoms persisted, but it was more than seasickness. The pains in his chest made him think he would die at any moment. In 2 days, he suffered 2 heart attacks. This is truly extraordinary. He tolerated the difficulty, meditating on the purpose of his mission. One night, Prabhupada had a dream after the heart attacks, because he was worried. What's going to happen? Lord Krishna and his incarnations were rowing a boat, and Krishna told Prabhupada that he should not fear, but should come along. Prabhupada felt assured of Lord Krishna's protection, and the violent attacks did not occur. Who knows, if Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, he may have even passed away at that moment. But he had a mission to fulfill, and Shri Krishna afforded him full protection. By September the 10th, Prabhupada was becoming accustomed to life at sea. So this is September the 10th, so he'd been there 4 weeks pretty much. He wrote in his diary, the ship is plying very smoothly. I feel today better, but I am feeling separation from Sri Vrindavan and my lords, Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Radha Damoda, the deities of Lord Krishna. Can you imagine? He left the most glorious place in the world, Vrindavan, to come to the West, where he had no friends, no money. He had 40 rupees with him. That was the amount of money he had. And even that money, he could not actually convert it into US dollars. So he actually had nothing. The only solace is Chaitanya Charitamrit, in which I am tasting the nectarian pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. I have left Bharat Bhumi just to execute the order of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati in pursuance of Lord Chaitanya's order. I have no qualification, but have taken up the risk just to carry out the order of His divine grace. I fully depend on their mercy, so far away from Vrindavan. This is really, truly extraordinary. There's nobody greater than Prabhupada. The ocean voyage was the calmest the captain had ever seen. Prabhupada said, the calmness was Krishna's mercy. He wrote in his diary, if the Atlantic would have shown its usual face, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna had taken charge of the ship. After a 35-day journey from Calcutta, the Jaladuta reached Boston's Commonwealth Pier at 5:30 a.m. on September the 17th, 1965. The ship stopped briefly in Boston and proceeded to New York City. So he wrote on September the 18th a poem called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. So Karuna will sing this beautiful poem. The English translation, I don't know if this is the full version, but this is roughly what it is, I think. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me, but I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. Therefore, they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it, because his English was, even the devotees would struggle to understand his accent in the early days, especially. And if you can imagine, he was facing the whole, in New York, he was facing the whole ambit of materialism. And he was on his own. This is such an amazing venture. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service, O Lord? I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have become under the control of the illusionary energy by your will. Therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. It's so amazing. The words of Bhagavad, the Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, he will be able to understand your message. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, verses 17 to 21. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart and benefactor of truthful devotee, cleanses desires for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance, so this is the verse that we chant every day, in classes on the Bhagavatam, by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. As soon as irrevocable loving service established in the heart, the effects of the modes of passion ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and becomes completely happy. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive, scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. This is not some dogma, this is actually scientific. The Lord is the greatest scientist. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all the misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. He will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion. Thus all auspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand the message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. This is the humility of Prabhupada. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, oh Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hand. So if you brought me here to dance, make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. What an amazing prayer. Yes, Nanivan?
Prabhuji, was this all written in English or in Sanskrit?
No. Yeah, in Bengali, I think.
In Bengali, okay.
I think so. Karuna is going to be singing it in a minute. So, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhakti Vedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. On the board, the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Priya, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, 18 September 1965. So I can just finish. I think there's not much more, and then Karuna can sing. In New York, he exited at the Brooklyn Pier. At one point, he did say, I didn't even know whether to turn left or to turn right when I left the boat. His only contact in the new land was Gopal Agarwal. And Gopal could not come to New York. Because what happened, the ship went from Boston to New York, and that's where everybody left. So Gopal had arranged for a traveler's aid representative to meet Prabhupada and to put him on a bus to Pittsburgh. Gopal met Prabhupada in Pittsburgh and thereafter took him to his home in Butler. And this is Gopal. This is the father. This is Gopal. Now he's...
What is this, Birju Maharaj?
Huh?
Prabhuji, you are telling Birju Maharaj?
Which Maharaj?
Prabhuji, you are telling about Birju Maharaj?
Prabhupada, right? So this is the person who sponsored him. And this was very recent, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He came to the ISKCON Mumbai temple. This is the Srila Prabhupada deity in that temple. And this is Gopal, and that's his son Bridge. So we owe a lot to this great person here for looking after Prabhupada in the initial days. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, any questions, any comments? Let me see if I can find that prayer. Karuna, do you have that prayer by any chance? If not, I can find it.
No, not on my laptop, Prabhu.
Okay, no, I should be able to find it.
You have it online.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Good, thank you.
So amazing, isn't it, this journey? How we can do it, somebody at his age with so much and nothing in the West to look for. Oh my goodness.
Extraordinary.
Only Krishna can do this for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody else. No.
Nobody else. This is such a...
Amazing.
He's that's why he's the greatest. Nobody can compare to Prabhupada. Nobody can compare.
Guru Maharaj is called him Mahajan, and I think rightly so, because Prabhupada has touched so many souls on this earth that would have not come across Krishna. So all credit to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Kamakshi. Absolutely right. Okay. So this is where it starts. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Boro kripa kaile Krishna Adha mera prati. Boro kripa kaile Krishna Adha mera prati. Kila giyani leheta koro e begati. Kila giyani leheta koro e begati. Ache kichu karja taba ei anumane. Nahe ke no arive ei ugrasthane. Rajastamo gunera sabe achanna. Vasudev katharuchi nahe se prasanna. तबे जरी तब कृपा होया है तू की साखी संभव होय तुमी से कौतुकी कि भावे भुजाले तारा बुझे से रसा हेत कृपा करो प्रभु कोरी निज भाषा तुम्हारा इच्छाया सब होय माया वशा तुम्हारी इच्छाया नाश मायार परश तब इच्छा हो जारी करे उधार मुंशी बेनिशाय तबे कथा से तो भागवतेर कथा से तब अवतार धीरा है यशोने जरी काने बराबर Shall I recite this one or?
Yes, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good.
Shrinvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana Riddhyantasto ya bhadrani vidhunoti suritsatam Nashtaprayeshva bhatreshu nityam bhagavate sevaya Bhagavatyama shloke bhaktir bhagati naishtiti Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayasya चेततैर् अनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसिद्धति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते भिद्यते हृदयग्रन्थिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशया क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे.
Brilliant.
We have one more part here. रजस्तमोहते तबे पाइबे निष्ठा हृदय भद्र सते गुचिबे ताहा कि कोरे बुझाबो कथा मरो से इच्छाई क्षुद्रामि दीनहीन कोनो शक्ति नाही अथ चयने चो प्रभु कथा बोली बारे जे तो मारी इच्छा प्रभु करो एई बारे अखिल जगत गुरु वचन से आमार अलंकृत कोरी बार हमता तो मां तब कृपा हले मोर कथा सुधा हावे सुनिया समार शोक दुख जे गुचिबे अनिया चो जाति प्रभु हमारे ना चाहते नचाओ प्रभु नचाओ से मरते काष्ठेर पुतली जथा नचाओ से माटी भक्ति नाही वेद नाही नामे खूब दारो भक्ति वेदांत नाम हे सार्थक को भक्ति वेदांत नाम हे सार्थक को Prabhupada ki jai.
Yay. Well done. That was amazing. Thank you very, very much.
Sorry,
Anybody?
Prabhuji, I need to leave because there is some computer work.
Okay. Hare
Center is
Krishna.
on
Thank you
the
so
line. Hare
much.
Krishna, everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Hare Krishna.
So anybody, any questions, any comments? Otherwise,
Prabhuji, can I recite Narasimha prayers?
you can, yes. Oh, you want to do it now, you mean? You mean,
Prabhuji, after the Narasimha Kavach.
yes, of course. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Haribol Nabi.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Yeah.
Maharaj.
There was a nice recollection of and narrated by you nicely Prabhupada's departure and his journey. I know I've read the diaries of Prabhupada
Mm.
when he's traveling and he gets to Portugal and places like that, and how he describes, some of those places as
Mm.
well.
Mm.
There's somewhere there. But I was going to say there's another poem which Karunabanda has sang very nicely, this one,
Mm.
which Prabhupada also wrote. There's another one that I know Agni they've read, sang as well. And that's actually also written by Prabhupada aboard the Jaladuta. And it's a prayers unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and it's actually September 13th, 1965, which starts with like Krishna Taba Punya Have Bhai. Ei Punya Karibo Jave Radharani Kushi Have. Dhruve Ati Boli Toma Ati. So he's saying, I emphatically say to you, more brothers. That's why I say Krishna Taba Punya Have Bhai. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Then Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachi Sutta Priya Kati Krishna Sabha Jara Tula Nai Say Mahanto Guru Jagatere Madhur Krishna Bhakti De Thai Thai. So this is Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. So that would be a nice, I'm not going to recite the whole, people can go Google it and actually listen to that as well, and only Prabhupada is actually saying that, I have to fulfill the order of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But, Krishna will be only pleased if Radharani is pleased. And if somehow he's trying to get, in his prayers, he's trying to say that, then the next verse is, by his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world, in all the cities, towns, and villages on earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. But at the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all direction, the flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnav's desire is then fulfilled. So although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy. And you are the wisest and most experienced of all. So if you bestow your power by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth, one's life becomes successful. If this service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets association due to good fortune. So indirectly, he's trying to say that, look, I have to fulfill my spiritual master's orders. If he's happy, Radharani will be happy, then Krishna will be happy. So he's trying to indirectly get the spiritual master's mercy somehow, And he actually includes the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj, and also he declares, today that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way, because I have a great longing. I call to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no other means of success. So, this prayer is very nice as well to sing it at some point. I'm sure Karuna Banda will wonderfully sing it.
If she has not already done it.
She may have already done it, I know. Krishna Tava Punya Hobe Bhai. But anyway, I like listening to it because Agni Devi sung it and explained it. Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
That.
I thought I'd share that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Very good.
Okay.
Anybody else? Anything else? Okay. So let's